This Torah class is brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.
Okay, welcome everyone. We continue in Sefer Devorah. We're up to Parak Shishi. Yargil ha'adam atzmai b'midas Hagevura. How can a person train himself in the midah of Gevura? So how many middas have we gone through so far? Well, Parak Beis, we did Middas HaKeser. Keser is a reference to Das. That is Keser refers to Das. Parak Gimel is Chachma. Parak Dalid was the midah of Bina. Parak Hey was the mitzvah, the midah of Chesed, which we just learned, and now we do Gevura. Gevura is, so to speak, the counterbalance of Chesed. Hech yargel adam atzmai b'midas hagvura. Da, you should know, ki kol pe'ulais hisayros yetzer hara. Any action that arouses the yetzer hara, he mamish ma'ayros hagvuros hachazakos, actually arouses powerful midas hagvura. In fact, as we're going to learn, the Tomer Devorah in the Sefer Pardos Rimonim, he says the reason why God created the Yetzer Hara is by not giving into the Yetzer Hara, you actually strengthen Midas Harachimim over Midas Hadin. But whenever you give into the Yetzer Hara, you are being Ma'ira Midas Hadin. Lekach lo yisnayeya Yetzer Hara. Therefore, you don't want to arouse the Yetzer Hara, shelo ya'oyer Gevura, because you don't want to arouse Midas HaGevura. V'hatam, the reason for this, Sheha'adam noitzar b'shtei yitziros, man was created with two inclinations, Yetzer tov v'yetzer hara, a good inclination and an evil inclination. Zeh chesed v'zeh gevura. The Yetzer HaTov is midas HaChesed, the Yetzer Hara is midas HaGevura. Amnam pershu b'Zayar b'Parshas Bereshis, the Zayar explains in Parshas Bereshis, Sheyetzer tov nivra la'adam atzmai l'tzarkoi v'yetzer hara l'tzarech ishtay. This is a very important concept, because God created us with the Yetzer Hara. So why did God create us with the Yetzer Hara? If Yetzer tov is midas harachamim, midas hachesed, and the Yetzer Hara is midas hadin, why did God create us with it? The answer is Sheyetzer tov nivra la'adam atzmai l'tzarkoi. The good inclination is created for the person himself, for his own needs. V'yetzer hara l'tzarech ishtay. God created a person with a yetzer hara for only one reason, for his wife. Now, what does this mean? So, I'm not sure we're going to read past this, but let us understand a few important concepts. Midas Hagevura is the midah that confines and contracts and is mitzamtzeim all of mitzios, everything that exists and all bounty in the world. Really, for anything to exist, we need midas hadin. Why is that? Because midas hachesed, everything would just expand and spread out, and it would rain and it would rain and it would rain and it would rain and it would rain, and there would be a mabul, and things would grow and grow and grow, and they would just overtake the world. So God says, enough rain. I created man, I don't want his arm to be 500 feet long. Stop, it can only be 2 feet long. So Midas Hadin is needed for the world to exist. Midas Hadin, by the way, is associated with the left side. Which direction is left? The north. This is very important. The north is the left, the south is the right. The east is up, the west is down. Okay, so when we say the right side is Midas HaChesed, the left side is Midas Hadin. The south is Midas HaChesed, the north is Midas Hadin. By the way, God says that the temple will be destroyed mitzafa in tipasach hara. Avraham Avinu, on the other hand, v'Avraham haloich v'nasoya hanegba. Avraham's always going south. The south is Midas HaChesed, the north is Midas Hadin. The east and the west, up and down. By the way, you look at the letter Beis. The letter Bay is the first letter with which God created the Torah, is open in the north, is closed in the south. Urit Safain, come in the north. Meaning, when you start learn Shaloi Lishma. Urit Safain, wake up in the north. When you start learning, do it for ulterior motives. Ubayi Teiman, and ultimately get to the south. Do it without ulterior motives. All the gold and silver and wealth in the world is in the north. Like Chazal say, Haroitza laha asher yatzbin. Because that is the north, that is where Middas Hagevura is. Now, the strength of Middas Hagevura, Gevurais, is compared to fire. Fire breaks everything down into its four components. Middas Hagevura is Middas Yiras Shamayim, which is the bittul of all koyach. Now, the Yetzer Hara, which is Ma'orer Gevura, Yetzer Hara is always associated with Eish, fire. When a person gets heated up, Taiva, Kas, Gaiva comes from heat. In the footnotes to the Nefesh HaChaim, he brings that all of creation was created from one of four elements: fire, water, wind. Now, the Yetzer Hara is in the heart. And when a person's heart is aflamed, and he allows a foreign fire to enter, that's Gaiva, that's Taiva. And when you have fire, then you need to put it out. And that's why sometimes somebody looks to satiate their fire with Taiva. Taiva is compared to water. Now, do you remember when the Gemara says in Yuma, when they wanted to mavatal the Yetzer Hara for Avodah Zarah, so what did they see emanate from the Beis Hamikdash? A fiery lion. Why fire? Because fire is the koyach hachimum. And when we get fired up to engage in taiva, to engage in gaiva, that literally fires up the Gehenna. The Nefesh HaChaim writes, Rishaim deepen the Gehenna for themselves. They themselves deepen the Gehenna because through their fire of sin, they make more fire in Gehenna. Now, the Devorah writes in the Sefer Or Yakar that Gevura is heated up when a person is involved with the Yetzer Hara. So when you get involved with the Yetzer Hara, it heats up Midas Hadin. So the klipos are magbir the Yetzer Hara. The Yetzer Hara gets us to sin. When we sin, we're magbir Middas Hagevura. Middas Hagevura is magbir Gehenim. So it's sort of like a vicious cycle that is all effectuated through being ma'ora the Yetzer Hara, which is ma'ora Midas Hadin. Now the Talmud Devorah writes in the Pardes Rimonim, in Shar Gimel, Chaf Gimel, when a Rasha allows the Yetzer Hara to prevail over the Yetzer HaTov, Midas Hadin is shoyled al Midas Harachamim. This is what Chazal means, says the Talmud Devorah. Cursed are the wicked, they are mahapech Midas Harachamim l'Midas Hadin. This, says the Talmud Devorah, is one of the reasons why God created the Yetzer Hara. Because by overcoming the Yetzer Hara, we give prominence to Midas Harachamim over Midas Hadin. And another reason why God created the Yetzer Hara is to give us more schar for our avodah. Now the Zohar says in Parshas Tazria, the Yetzer HaTov comes from the Yesod of Mayim, which is the Yesod of spreading out and beneficence. The Yetzer Hara is from fire.
Beneficent.
Thank you. Now, when a person, why did Hashem give a person a Yetzer Hara? So we mentioned the Yetzer Hara is only b'shvil ishtai. The Yetzer Hara is to be able to engage in the mitzvah of oina. And this is described in Shir Hashirim, Semoiloi tachas l'roishi v'yiminoi techabekeni. Which the secret of this matter is that the smoil, which is the tzafain, is for the sake of the nekeva. So what the following analogy is given. The analogy is, let's say the Yetzer Hara we know is compared to fire. So Fire could be a very good thing. If a person has in their house fire, they could use it to cook, they could use it to bake, to make soup, to make bread, provided that it's used in the correct measure. However, if a person allows the fire to spread, it could cause the ruination of his whole house. The same thing with the Yetzer Hara. The Yetzer Hara was only given to be able la'asos chesed imishtai. That is the purpose of smoiloi tachas l'roishi v'minoi techabekeni. So if a person uses that midah for its intended purpose, then it stays in check, and then good things occur. This is the reason why Hashem gave the Yetzer Hara. But if a person uses it to let it go beyond its confines, namely to indulge in self-gratification, so then it's literally a wildfire, and it could cause ruination. So what we're going to learn, interestingly, is a surprising idea that we mentioned a number of times already, that an ish is midas harachamim and isha is midas hadin. Despite the fact that you're going to tell me it's not true, women are softer. In Kabbalah, in Machshavas Yisrael, men are midas harachamim and women are midas hadin. This is beferish psukim. Kerachim av albanim, not kerachim im albanim. When it comes to women, yedei noshim rachamoniyos bishlu yaldehen. When it comes to men, kerachim av albanim kein terachim Hashem aleinu. And the Svarim explain, what do you mean? But when a kid wants to play hooky, so he goes and he complains to the mother, and he says, "Oh, mommy, I have a sore throat, I can't go to yeshiva." So the mother says, "Yeah, you need to stay home." And the father says, "Get out of bed right now before I take you to school in your pajamas." So how could you say the mother is din and the father is rachman? That's exactly the point. To keep the kid home and miss the day of yeshiva is midas hadin. To force the kid to go to school, that's midas harachamim, because that's the objective. Anyway, so it's kerachim of albanim, even though the pasuk in Avi says, K'ish asher imay tinachamenu, a mother is a menachem, but a mother is not mirachem. Okay, these are the psukim in Tanakh. This is how the Ramban explains it, and Rabbeinu B'Chaim. Therefore, the Yetzer Toiv is midas hachesed, is given for the man. The man uses the Yetzer Toiv for himself. But the Yetzer Hara, which is midas hadin, is only there for the Isha, which is midas hadin. And we will elaborate that more, Bezos Hashem, on Wednesday. Tomorrow there will not be a Tamar Devorah Shiur at 5 p.m. Okay, Rabbi say, have a great day. Kol Tov, Selah, Baruch Tiyah.
You've just experienced another Torah class brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.